This is From the Pro, conversations with the creators at the proletariat. Here's Jim Bratton.
So, today's podcast, we're talking again to Evan McClimans. I think the last time was a couple of years ago.
In my art show, yes, sir.
Evan, you've got a bunch of stuff going on now. Bring me up to date. We got about 10, 15 minutes. Let's cover it.
Well, I was blessed with the opportunity to work for the Washed Ashore program.
Right.
They make sea trash into giant sculptures to bring awareness to how much plastic is in our oceans. And they came to Galveston a few years ago, and I'm sure you saw the sculptures all over.
Yeah.
And recently, they put a call to artists out to start. One, they worked with the Parks Board to develop the first sculpture made here in Galveston, which
Right.
is what I'm in charge of. And then what they're attempting to do is in their phase 3 is they'd like to open a permanent office here so that logistically it's easier for them to move sculptures around the country to where they go to get displayed on in public parks and events and zoos and various places that like to display our sculptures. And since they're in Coos Bay, it's logistically really
Hey,
Oregon,
yeah.
very difficult logistically to get stuff to them and then back out to them. So they needed a centrally located sort of office, and they're working. A lot of people are working really hard on making that happen down here. And when it happens, I don't know, but they're working on it. So
So sort of sub distribution point.
yes, sir. Sort of a logistical. I can do repairs, build more sculptures. We work with the park board at CZM. We can store sculptures there where they move all over through
Right.
the country. We've got some in Green Bay right now. A lot of them went back to Coos Bay, and this one will stay in Galveston. It belongs to
Let's
Galveston.
just back up on this a little bit, because how did this relationship get established with you and Washed Ashore?
Well, initially it started when they very first came into town. It was when Becky Major
Right.
was working with the Art Commission, and she had suggested to me that I meet these people because
Right.
they had been, even at that time, they were talking about needing someone that was a welder,
Right.
or it would be helpful if they could weld, someone that was an established artist, someone that was well known in the community. And
Well, you check those boxes.
that's what I thought. And Becky Major thought so too. And so I was reaching out to them, but something came up and they ended up going back to Oregon. But recently the sculptures came back, and that's when they posted on all of the social media platforms a call to artists. We're looking for the
Right.
certain thing and apply if you want. And so I wrote up my application. I got all my references, and I mean, they called them then because all my references called me pretty quickly after the fact. And then it was an interesting interview process. I was in here working on, I forget, some art project I was doing, and I was sweaty, and I had my cutoff like sleeveless shirt on,
Right.
and they called for the video conference. I didn't even think about it because it's a pretty standard t-shirt uniform, be comfortable in my shop. You know?
Absolutely.
So I didn't even think about it, and I sat down for the interview, and we chatted, and I showed them around, and they started calling me the cutoff shirt guy. And then Mark Metzger called me and was like, "Don't ever do a phone interview with people in a sweaty cutoff t-shirt." And didn't even think about it, and I was just excited about the interview. And it's, to me, I'm just not. I was wearing a normal shirt for me. And so during the interview, I think it worked out. Like they saw what I could do here, and all of the things in the community that I'm a part of, especially in the art scene down here. And they interviewed several people,
Right.
and then they decided on me. And it's been just a wild, crazy thing. I work with materials I never thought I'd
I
be
was gonna
working
say,
with, and
you're primarily, I mean, and full disclosure, Mary and I have about 3 of your pieces.
thank you.
It's all metal.
Yeah,
And now did you do a piece for them for this last go round, or
no, sir. This is my very first.
those that were around town? None of those were
I
yours?
didn't touch any of them. I did a minor repairs on a couple of them so they could show me how to do it.
Right.
But I met some of the artists that made those,
Right.
and I was trained by their current lead artists in Oregon, in Coos Bay, Stephen and Marilyn Wright, and they are amazing. They taught me everything I know about building these sculptures, and they didn't hold back any knowledge of how they do. There was no tricks of the trade they kept to themselves. They taught me everything to be successful and make the best version of this I can. And
This has got to be an exploration of another discipline.
Oh my, yes. There's working with plastic is very different.
I mean,
And
now is there a welded metal frame inside this at all? Is there
yes,
a
sir.
substructure or some kind?
So Washed Ashore has learned after 15 years
I'll say it.
that they need to, if they're going to build a sculpture for longevity,
Right.
to spend the money on what it takes to make it last long. And so they bought all 316 grade stainless steel, which is surgical grade stainless steel
Yeah.
for the subframe, for the internal frame, for the legs, for the bird. I want to say they, seven something $1,000 just in metal for the frame because
That's the frame for this sculpture?
yes, sir. It has to get picked up and moved around, and they know it's going to be near the beach, and they know it's going to be near salt water, and they know it's going to be rained on, and they know it's going to be out in the elements. And so, since the plastic was already out in the sun, it's fine, but the metal has to be able to last and have the longest lifespan possible. So it's well thought out and designed well before it's built.
Now, is that unusual for the other ones, like the ones I've seen around town, and I'm sure part of their inventory, sort of? What are they also metal subframe inside there? Or are they basically a plastic assembly?
Um, a lot of different artists have built these sculptures over
Right,
the
right.
years, and they've used a lot of varying materials that um, artists would use to make a sculpture. Now, as a welder, as my background, having built I don't know how many things over 20 years.
And particularly in a saline-laden atmosphere
Correct.
down here in Galveston.
Um, my my sort of structural brain went at it from probably a little bit of a unique view. Stephen in Coos Bay is also a very accomplished welder,
Uh,
and he showed me a lot of the things that he would suggest. A lot of the layout of this frame was because of his help, and uh, the artists before, to my knowledge, were not welders. They were not structural people. They were just well-intentioned, creative people that wanted to make a difference and did the best they could. So now Washed Ashore has gotten some new leadership, and they understand, what it's going to take to make sure that these sculptures are built as well as they can be,
some durability.
with durability, with all the longevity they can get out of them, because they are really they do love these sculptures. They do mean a lot to all the people involved, and it is a statement of our intention of trying to make a most out of a blight on our society and our beaches, and turn something ugly into something beautiful, and really try to bring the attention to people. Then say, "Oh, I bring this stuff to the beach myself." And,
There you go.
the thing I've learned about this personally is that everybody's one thing really does make a difference.
You're right
Your
about
your
that.
your one Coke bottle lid, your one lighter, your one set of kids' toys, your one tent frame, your sun canopy,
I was gonna say, boy, you see those just frequently jammed up on the beach.
all over. So I'm still trying to figure out something. I'm waiting for the inspiration to turn all those into something. But Washed Ashore focuses on plastic,
Yeah.
and there's not little micro metals floating in the water that are affecting our fish. And
No, not as I mean, there's some long-term impact, I'm sure, but nothing like the
plastics,
microplastic.
right?
Yeah.
They don't float as well. So you have your mercuries and things, but you don't hear much about, I've got too much steel in my body from the
Right.
fish I eat. Right.
Right, right.
So, but plastics, on the other hand, they affect everything. And the idea is to get people to recognize what they're doing with their single-use plastics, those fork, spoon, knife combos, and being responsible with the trash aspect of it, and not just leaving it behind, and making sure it's put somewhere responsible, or don't use it at all. Use
Right.
reusable things.
Yeah.
We at Washed Ashore, they understand that to have a functioning society, you have to have plastic. There's no way
They're
around it.
disposable things.
Right. There's no way around it. So the automotive industry, the medical industry, the food and beverage industry, they are all, plastic is their backbone. So we're not going to get rid of it, but we would like to change the usage of it, because a lot of places that it's used are not needed. It's just a little bit of personal responsibility can go a long way.
Let's talk about what you're working on right now.
Okay.
Is this a commissioned piece then?
This is a partnership between Washed Ashore and the Park Board.
Yeah.
They got together and decided the Park Board wanted one of their own for Galveston.
Right.
So they are footing the bill for all of this. So we're very grateful to them. And I've loved working with all of them. They're wonderful people. And having had the opportunity to get to know them, it is great to see that there are so many people that genuinely care about the island,
Right.
doing things to help the island. And this is going to be a Reddish Egret. It is the bird of Galveston. It was voted on by several constituents of the park board. They're nonprofit partners, and there was 5 different animals I believe they were going to pick from, but they landed on the Reddish Egret. And it is a unique little bird, and it's been a real joy trying to turn the materials I found into a similarly looking replica.
So you mentioned that this has got to be pretty confidential in its overall appearance right now,
Yes, sir.
because this has not been unveiled yet.
Well, it's unofficially been unveiled. So
Okay.
they did come to my shop, and we had this whole big deal. And then at the time, the bird only had the rubber tire base on it.
Right.
And everybody thought that that's what it was going to be. And it's kind of funny, but no, we needed to make what I was taught in Oregon was that you have to have a base layer to screw things to.
And
So
tires are a good thing.
they work well. They're malleable. They're easy to
Take a machine screw and just
right into it, and they hold them well. So that's what they taught me to use. So the entire base layer of the bird is a tire.
let me turn around and look at that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to share the details, but oh wow.
So right now we're working on its face. I've got its
Yeah.
torso up to its neck all the way completed. And right now the face and the eyes, we're getting the devil in the details kind of part. So we're taking our time, and then it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. But it's my first one, so I'm learning a lot. I'm calling and talking to the other artists and getting their input on things. And so it's it's been very exciting, and the feedback from the community has been really amazing. Like, everybody's been very excited about it, and so I'm just blessed that I get to be the guy that's getting to do this.
A little quick aside, by the way, you hear every once in a while a dog in the background, one of your pets, one of your mascots here at the
He's
shop.
a new one,
Okay.
and I'm training him to like people. He's a little he probably would have been chilled after a little bit, but he's a tiny little thing, and all he knows is he barks a lot. He's very sweet once he gets to know you, but he hasn't quite learned how to chill out
That's
yet.
okay. I wanted to say that we're in a shop here, and
Yeah.
it's a great shop, very
Thanks.
functional shop. Looks good, by the way. So I have to ask, Evan, had you worked with stainless very much before?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Stainless steel is one of the staples in the welding industry,
In this area,
and especially in the saltwater driven. When I was teaching welding, stainless steel was one of the materials that we taught people on in aluminum. It was regular steel, stainless steel, and aluminum were our 3 major materials that we worked with, just because as a welder, uh, you need to know how to work on some of the most common metals that are used in our society. So we focused on those 3, even though there's many more that
Oh,
were
yeah,
used.
but stainless has its own set of skill sets, does it
Yes,
not?
sir. It is a very different, very particular kind of metal. If you want to maintain its anti-corrosiveness, you have to weld it with TIG, and
Right.
then you can't overheat it, and um, it can be very sensitive during the welding process. But because of its uh, anti-corrosive properties, it is a perfect material for what we're doing, and it's was selected because it's going to last a long time.
When do you think will be the formal unveiling?
I was asked to have this thing ready by June 7th, June 7th, for World Ocean Day with the on East Beach with Artist Boats folks, and they're putting on a whole festival that weekend, or it's a day, and the official unveiling will be done there. And after that, the park board is going to take the bird on a tour for Galveston, and it's going to go hang out in several places over the next few months. They haven't determined too many specific places, and they certainly haven't told me any.
Yeah.
I think they're still working all that out, but it's I don't know that there's any rush. I'm hoping that people will want to display it in their place.
I think
But
so.
There's a couple of places I've heard have expressed interest that I'm hoping that it goes, but I don't want to say anything officially yet.
No. I appreciate and we will maintain that confidentiality.
But there are a lot of spots that I'm very excited to see it go, and just to see I watched all the people looking at the sculptures when they were here on the island,
Yes.
and I was impressed with how much attention they actually did get. So I'm excited for mine to get any exposure that's similar to those.
Well, it sounds like you've started a good long-term relationship as well.
The idea is for me to become their centrally located artist.
Their
And
guy.
I think our goal would be lovely if I could make 2 sculptures a year for them. That would keep me busy all year, and it would be productive for all of us. But
Right.
that's what my goal would be. But the official is we're gonna wait. We just gotta hope that the once this bird is done and it brings in the attention and it shows them that I can do this and I can deliver on time and that I'm a dedicated employee, like worker and artist. And I want to see I don't like taking on jobs and not finishing them.
Yeah.
And in having my welding business, I developed a reputation for finishing the things I've started. And even though sometimes I've hated it, because sometimes you get involved in a project and you immediately, oh no, this is bad. But you learn from those, and uh, so far with this project, everything has been green lights. I've had no regrets. I've had no
Well, that's fantastic.
issues. I've loved all the people that I worked with, from the park board to Washed Ashore. They've all been fantastic. And so I hope that this is a long-term project. I would really, really like to advocate for it because it gives me a sense of pride about my work it's different from the art show work.
Yes.
This is my art show work I'm very proud of it all.
As you should be.
I'm very impressed with how it all went. I was surprised by the reaction from the people, but this is something that is important as it's part of our ecology, and it's a part of our nature and our animals, excuse me, and helping to educate people on some simple little things. And that's important to me.
Evan, it sounds like Evan McClimans sounds like you're venturing into an additional chapter of your creative life.
Well, thank you. I'm hoping to, and we're pushing forward. And even going beyond this, it's definitely affected my day-to-day life. It's caused me to recognize what I do with the material, the plastics that I use throughout my day, and how I dispose of them, and the changes I've made. I'm not buying plastic water bottles. I use reusable water bottles for everything now.
I'm
So
sure you do.
everything from soaps to toothpaste to the food storage containers,
Right.
to how trash cans and everything, from the plastic bags you get at the grocery store. So it's definitely opened my eyes to a whole another level of something I can do to make a difference.
Evan, I'm going to rely on you to let us know when this is ready to show a picture of it, that we can do another quick podcast
Absolutely.
and make sure we have the visuals to go with it.
I would love that. But again, officially, it can be viewed on the 7th of June. I keep messing that up. 7th of June, a World Ocean Day. And after that, I guess we'd have to go to the podcast of wherever it's hanging out.
Well, we'll do that.
I'm down for that too.
Listen, I'm thrilled to be able to have sort of a visual preview of it right now. I feel grateful for that.
Thank you.
Evan McClimans, thank you again for your time today.
I appreciate you, man. And as always, I've always loved being on your podcast. So thank you for the opportunity once again.
Have a great one.
This has been From the Pro, conversations with the creators at the Proletariat. Theme percussion created and performed by Patrick Wheeler, mastered by Chris Criticos. From the Pro is a Jim Bratton production. I'm Sierra Sakel.